When combining like terms, the main thing to remember is we can only combine things of the same size. And let's also keep in mind that when I talk about combining, I'm really talking about addition. What does that mean? Well, let's look at a simple example. 3 times 5 plus 4 times 5. So in this example, one way I can look at it is that my base in both these cases is 5. Also, when we're adding two things together, each one of these is going to be called a term. Okay, so here I have two terms. One of the terms, I have 3 5s being added together. And in the second term, I have 4 5s. Again, that coefficient is telling me how many 5s I have. And since all of this is addition, I can just count them up. And of course, you probably already know that I have 7 total 5s here, so it's just really 7 times 5. And all of these things are equal to each other. And that's the basis of multiplication and how it relates to addition. So the key here is we have to have the same size things, and the size is determined by the base. So let's look at an example where we have two different bases. So a base of x and a base of y, which could be the same values, but given the information we have right now, we don't know that. So we'll say that we have 3 x's and that we have 4 y's. All the time I see people try real hard to add these together, and so we get 3 and a 4, so we get 7 xy. Well, let's break that down. What are we really saying here? We're saying that we have 7 of whatever this xy value adds up to. Well, that's not really the case. And we can see that very clearly in an example. So let's go ahead here and let's replace the x and the y with just some numbers. Now, in both of these, we know that we have different bases. In this case, I have a 5, and it's telling me I have 3 of them. And in the second example here, I have a base of 8, and the coefficient 4 tells me that I have 4 of them. Again, if you're ever not sure if a shortcut is good, go ahead and do it the long way and see if it works. And so in this problem, I could add all of these up, and going the long way, which I know is true because I used the definition, I see that the value of this should be 47. Now, if I try it using this kind of false shortcut here, we would just get 7 times the value of x, which in this case I had 5 as being substituted for it, times the value of y, which in this case my second base was an 8. Now if I multiply all that out, it clearly isn't going to be 47. Well, that means that since I know for a fact that this 47 has to be correct, because I went the long way getting there, this shortcut that I have here clearly isn't correct, as I kind of talked about before. And you really only need one counterexample to prove that something doesn't work. So what I'm trying to say here is if the bases are different, you can't combine. So don't force it.